Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be doing our haul video for the month of April. And I bought a lot of stuff this month, and not all of it is manga and light novels, so I'm going to have a few different sections before that. So if you want to just watch what I bought manga wise, feel free to just skip to that section, it's fine. It's no skin off my back, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, so I bought a lot of stuff, and most of it was kind of retail therapy, I guess, and in quotation marks. I had a lot of tests this month that I had to figure out, and it was pretty tough. So I would go buy some manga just to kind of clear my head a bit. Kind of walk around the store kind of helps you out, because walking is like a nice way to kind of clear your head. And also I had a little bit of extra money because I did end up selling some manga, and so I bought a little bit more than I usually would. And I also ended up buying a lot of GUNPLA because I basically ran out of models already, all the ones that I had bought previously, and I needed more, or well, I wanted more. I guess I don't need any of them. And then I bought a few little extra things. So I'm gonna have a figure section, figure/GUNPLA section, and then a comic book section, then some novels, and then finally the manga. And again, feel free to skip to that section. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. We're gonna start now. So yeah, the first thing that I bought that I really want to highlight is this very fun Funko Pop. This is Grogu using the Force from the second season of Mandalorian, and I really like this box actually. I don't like putting the Funko inside the box, especially not one that's this big, because it kind of takes up a lot of space in my bookshelf. But I actually like it because of the Mudhorn insignia that it has in the back. I think it's a really good touch. And yeah, this is Grogu using the Force, and he even has a little light up function, which is cool. I really like that. I think it's really fun. And the one thing I don't like about this Funko, well, besides the fact that it's a Funko, and I don't really like Funkos all that much, because I feel like they're kind of ugly, and you buy them and they don't have any other functionality, like they just look nice on the shelf. And I don't like generally things like that. I generally like things that have function or meaning beyond just what they are. And so that's why I like Lego a lot, right? Like the brickheads, the Lego brickheads. They're basically a Lego Funko Pop, and I like them a lot because you build them first. So, they have, one, the fandom attachment, right? And two, the cool, like, oh, it's a nice little thing to put on my shelf, but also the I built it myself kind of attachment. And so they have a very compound feeling about them that I really enjoy. So that's why I don't like Funko Pops that much, because they don't really have any of that. You just kind of buy them at any local store and then you just put it on your shelf. So I don't feel that they're that special, but I love Grogu, and I think this is probably the best way to collect Grogu, because Grogu being such a cute little character, it's easy for a Funko Pop to make of him to look good, right? And so I like it quite a lot, and I really like this pose. However, I don't like one thing, and that's that Grogu isn't centered with the plate here. So this says Star Wars on it. I don't know if you guys can see it, and Grogu is like tilted slightly that way, away from the thing, and I guess it matches like the rock face that he was on, or like this, right? But that makes it off center, and I really dislike that. I feel like Grogu should have been centered with the plate, or the plate should have been centered with Grogu, so that it all kind of matched, right? But it doesn't bother me that much. And once you put it on the shelf and you kind of center it with the stuff on the back here, it kind of works, even if it's not centered. But I really wish that was a thing that they planned out. But overall, Grogu's really nice. I actually opened this and tried to turn him, but Grogu is attached directly to this rock face, so he can't turn. It's not like a bolted in, right? So sadly, you can't fix it, but it still looks good. So I like him a lot. And Grogu is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and so I'm really happy that I bought this. And yeah, he's so cute, and I love his little ears. Very cute. So that's the first thing I bought, or well, it's not really the first thing, but it's the first one that I wanted to talk about. Now let's talk about the GUNPLA properly. So the first thing I got was Plamo, and this is a Bandai entry grade Izuku Midoriya, which is cool. I really want a My Hero Academia figure, but all of the ones that I like are either really expensive, not being sold currently, or are just too much for what I want. Like, I don't want a giant figure, but I also don't want like a toy action figure. So this one, being a Plamo, kind of is just what I want, because one, I can build it so it has a little bit of extra meaning to it. Also, these entry grades are really nice, and I really like this pose that he has, and I like this outfit of his, the best out of all of the ones that he has in his so far in the anime. I guess I like the Dark Izuku, like Spawn-esque kind of outfit of Izuku's the most, but this one is like my favorite out of the ones where like it's clearly Izuku Midoriya. And yeah, I'm really excited to get to building this, and hopefully I'll probably do it soon because, you know, it's just fun and it's a really relaxing thing to do. So I have final exams coming up right now, and I'm definitely gonna use this as a way to kind of decompress and de-stress while I'm studying. So there you go. That's the first Plamo kit that I got. Then I got 3 different Gundams. The first one was, I think, this Gundam Zero. I bought all of these at Target because Target carries Plamo now. And the first one was this Gundam Wing, which is really cool. I really like it. I think this transforming gimmick that it has is pretty interesting. I don't necessarily think that the flight forms are all that cool. They don't really look like airplanes or like jets or anything. They just look like bad transformers, but I think the gimmick is cool nonetheless, right? So I really do enjoy it. And I also really like these colors. You know, it's very basic Gundam colors, but they're very, very cool. And yeah, I think this one was $18, which is actually pretty good for Plamo. Most of them are like 50 bucks. So that's really good. This is an HG After Colony model, and it's from Gundam Wing, I think, which is 2000s manga or anime. And then I got this Strike Freedom Gundam, which again looks really, really cool. I like these Gundams with wings. There's some that have like ass rockets and I don't like them, but these ones with wings are really, really cool. And I mean, you know, technically speaking, a robot that fights in space doesn't need wings, but the aesthetic of it is really, really cool. So I like it a lot. This is how the Gundam's gonna look. I need to buy some action bases for these because, you know, that pose right there is like the best. But I don't have any action poses, and they don't sell those at Target. So I need to go find a Hobbytown or, you know, a proper GUNPLA store near me here in Dallas to get some of them. And then the last one I got was this like Gundam Ground Urban Combat Type. It's basically just a black RX-78, and I thought it was really cool. I really like this kind of like infantryman style that it has, and I like the color scheme. You know, black and orange is really nice. I mean, well, black and orange isn't my favorite color scheme ever, but it's very nicely done. It looks really, really good. And yeah, that's the last Gundam I bought. I actually was going to buy another one today when I went grocery shopping, but I felt like I'd already bought too many, so I decided not to buy any more this month. And you know, usually I don't build a GUNPLA every week, so these will probably take me about 2 or 3 months. I mean, the last 4 that I had lasted me quite a long while. So I don't know. Summer's coming up, and I don't really have any classes this summer because there weren't any classes available for me to take. So I might actually have more free time, so I might end up building all of them, but I don't know. So now let's talk about comic books, and then we can move on to the novels and the manga. So I bought, you know, like, I don't know, 40 comic books. No, this is like 20 comic books at my local comic book store. I hadn't been there all of March, and so I showed up in April, and they were like, "Oh shit, man, you're finally here." And I was like, "Yeah, sorry." And then I bought all of these comics that I needed, but I still had more left over, and I haven't been able to go back to the store this month, but I will try to go early next month, just so I can kind of get caught up and not have like a bunch of stuff, you know, taking up space in their store. So yeah, Dark Knights of Steel 5, cool. I'm gonna talk about all of these in my reading logs. I don't want to spend too much time talking about them right now. Dark Ages 6, Dark Ages 5, Titans United 7. This is the last issue. This is Eternals the Heretic. This one tells the story about Thanos and Kronos. This is Gwenverse. It was okay. It wasn't horrible. I kind of like the idea, but not the execution. Sweet Paprika, one of my favorite ongoing comic books right now. Technically, I think it's not ongoing. It's just releasing in English for the first time. And I really can't wait for the trade paperbacks of this. I really am looking forward to those so I can collect them and put them on my shelf because, you know, single issue comics don't look that good. Devil's Reign 5, Vampyverse 6, I think. No, 5. And this one looks great. I love this cover so much. Vampyverse 6, again, I love this cover. I think it's really, really good. Honestly, this story wasn't that great, but I love the cover, so I kept buying it. It was only 6 issues, so it's not that bad. Moon Knight 9, I think, yeah, 9. This one is backwards? No, it's the right side up. Okay, there you go. And then Sheena, I love this trope, the jungle girl. It's one of my favorite character tropes, or character archetypes, I guess. And she's really cool, and I like this story quite a bit. And then Red Sonja 8. I'm missing 5 and 6 and 7. I just didn't buy them, and I bought this one instead because I'm dumb. And hopefully I'll get them. But I really love this artist. I think they're a Japanese mangaka that, you know, got the chance to draw some Red Sonja, and it looks really, really good. Okay, so that's all the comic books that I bought this month. I could have bought more, but I decided not to. I don't know. I wanted to focus on manga instead. So, yeah. And then some novels. All 4 of them are, you know, Western novels. But 3 of them are old school pulp fantasy novels or pulp fiction novels, and then this urban fantasy. So let's start with that one. This is Hex. This is book 2 in the Iron Druid Chronicles. If you guys remember October, I read the first one, which is called Hounded, I think, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. It was a little bit more captivating than Jim Butcher's Dresden Files. However, Dresden Files, I think, is better written overall. But this one was a little bit more exciting. I really like the mythology of it all, because this is a druid guy. He's like an immortal druid, and he had to fight some, you know, Celtic gods and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. I had to patch it up with a little bit of tape on the spine, right up here and down here. And it's not very noticeable, so that's why I do it, because, you know, it kind of, I guess, devalues the book a little bit. But, you know, this is an old-ass book. It was like $3 at Half Price Books. So I don't really care. Plus, I actually really like old books. I just don't like old manga because, I don't know, it just feels different. So yeah, Hex, pretty cool. I'm not really sure what it's about, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. Then I got 3 old classic pulp novels. First one, I think the most important one, is Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan of the Apes. This is the first book in the Tarzan series. And Edgar Rice Burroughs is also known for writing Pellucidar, and the most important one is probably Barzoom, the John Carter of Mars series, which was an awesome book series. It really needs a good adaptation because, you know, Disney released one in 2012-ish, which is when I learned about John Carter of Mars. And the movie was actually pretty good. It was pretty faithful to The Princess of Mars, the first book, in a sense. Like, obviously, they couldn't have nude people in the movie because that's just not allowed. But, you know, that's the only kind of major thing that I can think is, like, not true to the source material. But everything else is pretty good. I actually quite liked it. And, you know, John Carter of Mars is a series that I like a lot. I haven't bought any comic books for it, sadly. I don't know, I haven't gotten around to it. But then just Taurus, the Princess of Mars, is actually a really great character. And, you know, she kind of probably inspired Slave Leia. So, you know, it's cool. But Tarzan, I like the Tarzan movies, like the Disney animated movies. And I've always wanted to buy one of these, you know, the original books. But I hadn't never found one that I liked until I found this one. It was $3, so I was like, you know, there's no reason not to get it. And so I did. Hopefully, I'll probably try to find an Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan, you know, collected edition, because I don't really love the single volumes, but, you know, it's better than nothing. And then I bought Andre Norton's Cat's Eye. This is a author I hadn't ever heard about before, but one that caught my attention while I was looking through stuff yesterday. This is some sort of portal fantasy, Lost World type of story, or something like that, where, you know, there's this Conan-esque character, which is why I got this book, who ends up somewhere else, and then he's friends with these animals that he can hear in his mind, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know too much about it, but I am looking forward to it. And then this last novel that I bought is King Dragon. Now, I literally just bought it for the cover. I love this type of Frank Frazetta kind of style artwork. You know, a dragon and a hot girl. It's like, it's classic pulp, but also it's just a very good, you know, stylistic choice. And I really like how it looks. This one is definitely a Lost World type story. It says there Doyle Hoggart and Edgar Rice Burroughs, all very important people that wrote Lost World stories, which is like, you know, when you, like, it's like those, like, Journey to the Center of the Earth type stories, or those stories where, like, they're looking for El Dorado and stuff like that. That's kind of what Lost World is. And it's pretty interesting. And I bought this one for 2 reasons. One, the cover, like I said, but also because this has 50 illustrations in it. So it's kind of like a light novel, and I think that's cool. This is the first illustration here, before the book even begins. Then you have one of some dude who looks like Han Solo. Like, it's just kind of weird. It looks really similar to Han Solo. And these books are all from the 1920s to 1970s. So, you know, it's very possible that, you know, George Lucas wrote this or read this and then was like, yo, let's put a guy like this on the book, right? And this is a very classic kind of Jungle Girl type aesthetic there, which is really, really awesome. I just like that a lot. Here's a dragon. That's cool. And yeah, I bought it mostly for the fact that there's a bunch of illustrations. This one is not made by Frank Frazetta. It's made by Esteban Marato. I don't know who that is, but I definitely want to look into him quite a bit more because, you know, these types of things are very interesting to me. So there we go. That's all of the novels that I bought. Now let's get into the manga section. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, the previous sections. And if you just skipped to this section, I hope you guys enjoyed this section too. So let's get started. Two things that I bought that I haven't gotten here first. So first I bought Kengan Ashura 2. I got the first one at the beginning of the month, although I had ordered it in March. And I read it and I really enjoyed it. And then halfway through the month, the second one came out in Spain. So I ordered it from Book Depository 2 days ago. It's already on its way, but it's not going to get here before the end of the month. So I'm just going to mention it and then talk about it in the next haul. So yeah, and then the second thing is Komi number 18. Prof Otaku was, you know, talking about how he didn't really care about Komi anymore or something like that. And then he realized that he had ordered volume 18 and he read it. And then he was like, okay, I don't want it anymore. Someone just pay for shipping and it's yours. And so I asked him if I could have it. And he said yes. And he, you know, asked me to pay for it a few days ago and he sent it out. And it's going to get here May 2nd. But of course, that's after the haul video. So I can't have it on the video right now. But I will mention it next month as well. So yeah, now let's get into all of the stuff that I bought this month. So first of all, Kengan Ashura Volume 1. This is the Spanish edition from Ivrea. This doesn't have any special, you know, gifts to it like the Mexican editions usually have, but it has this nice illustration inside and then this other one in the back. So that's really cool. I think these are straight from the Japanese version. However, I think the size of this is a little bit bigger. This is a B6, which is kind of the standard like seinen size in Spain and Latin America. It's not really a seinen size, but you know, most things that are seinen tend to be in this size. I don't know if that's straight from Japan or if they do that to make the books a little bit more, you know, meaningful / important, but it's really cool. I liked it a lot. Then I got this Saji recipe book, Pirates Recipes One Piece. This is, I guess, the first cooking book. I'm sure there's more because this one doesn't cover everything in the series yet. There's about 40 plus recipes in here, and I would say about 20 of them are doable for, you know, an average, you know, home cook that doesn't really have that many skills or isn't going to try to buy specific, you know, ingredients that they can only find in specialty Asian markets. About 10 of the leftover ones are definitely doable for a little bit more advanced people or people that have access to one of these specialty Asian markets here in Dallas. You know, you can go to H Mart, Mitsuwa, what's the other one? Hong Kong Market, H Mart. There's another one. I can't remember what it's called. Ranch 99 Ranch. I can't remember. There's a bunch of them here in Dallas, but you know, not everyone has access to them. So, you know, maybe not. But then there's 10 recipes that I think are very specifically only for Japanese people, especially just because I don't really think it's going to be easy to find those materials at all, even if you go to an Asian market, or it's because, you know, they're just techniques that don't really make sense for Americans to use. It's not something that you're going to be able to use more than once. It's just going to be for this recipe and this recipe only. And that's kind of my brief overview about that. But it's cool. I definitely want to make a video where I make some of the recipes and then I talk about them and kind of offer some advice about how to cook them or how to change them up if they feel like they're not really all that good. So yeah, that's really cool. Then I bought Kingdom 2 and 3. This is also from Ivrea from Spain. There you go. That's 2. And that's 3. They don't have any other gifts either. And these are all golden like the first one is. So there's nothing special about them. They do have a color page, which is cool. I like that a lot. Like I said, this is golden. And then it has a color page, which is nice. And then I got Sunken Rock 2. This is actually volumes 3 and 4, which is great. Here's the cover. And then this cover is actually reversible because that's how Spain does it. They, or at least Ivrea does it. They give you a 2-in-1 volume and then they give you the covers for both on the same slip cover or dust jacket, and so you can pick which one you want. I really like this one, but I think the red just matches better with the actual volume, so I like the red one better. So that's the one I keep, but I think the inside one is much better. I definitely hope that IBRA makes an art book for this, because I know that there's one from Germany, I think from Germany, a Tokyo Pop release, which is cool, but I want to be able to read it. And I guess I could buy the French edition, but you know, I can't read French that well, even if I kind of can. So I would rather not have to buy those. I'd rather buy one in Spanish, even if it is Spanish from Spain, which is quite different from the way we talk in Mexico. Then Komi 17, Spy Family 1. Really good stuff. I really enjoy it. And then kind of the best thing I bought this month, Bride Story Volume 2. I love Bride Story. I really enjoyed it. And I definitely want to buy more of it. It's just kind of expensive. Like, it's 17 bucks. It's not that much more expensive than a regular volume. I mean, maybe $3 or $4, depending on which type of volume you're getting. But it's just not easy to get, because I have to go to a different Barnes & Noble than the one I go to that's near my apartment, or near my school, actually. So it's kind of harder to go there because it's kind of farther out of the way. And at the Barnes & Noble that I usually go to, they don't have any of the early volumes, and so, you know, it's kind of tough. But I definitely want to buy more of it sometime soon. Probably will do it over the summer on Amazon. I'm gonna spend most of the summer in my parents' house, I think. So I'll probably end up buying it directly to my house. Yahi Will Not Be Defeated Volume 2. I picked this up on a whim. I didn't know it had come out yet, and I liked the first one well enough. I didn't love it, but I thought it was cute. It has this kind of like very similar style to There's a Demon Lord on the Floor. However, that one is a little bit more found family, and this one is more like shenanigans, if that makes sense. And I liked it, but it still hasn't really convinced me. Yahi Shall Not Be Defeated, or Will Not Be Defeated, isn't really kind of hitting the right notes for me, but it isn't really missing them either. It's kind of just like almost getting there, but not really. And I'm just waiting for it to either get good or actually disappoint me before I drop it. But, you know, there really is no point in me dropping it right now, because the next volume won't come out for, you know, another 6 months maybe. So, you know, I can just keep them for now and buy the third one later and decide at that point, right? So I'm gonna keep it for now, but, you know, I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it either. Just kind of very middle of the road, but it is fun. So I kind of like it for that reason. Then we have Magus at the Library. I read the first one last month, and I do want to buy it physically at some point, because I don't like having these like mixed editions. But I couldn't find it at the store, so I ended up buying Volume 2 so I can continue the story. And I love this book so much. I like the finish. It's very kind of matte. It doesn't have any color pages, which is kind of sad. I really wish it did. But other than that, the art style is so beautiful, and the size is just right to capture that art style. It just looks so great. I haven't read that one yet, though, so I don't really have much to say about it. Then Witch Hat Atelier 2. Nice. I also bought 3. I'll show it to you guys later. I really love the first volume, so I wanted to buy more of it. And I definitely think that Witch Hat Atelier is going to be one that I'm going to try to catch up with as fast as possible. You know, I've been trying to catch up with Gleipnir and Drifting Dragons for a while too. Just can't find any more volumes of it, except for the one that I bought this month, which I'll show you in a minute. But this one is more readily available, much more easily. So I'm definitely going to try to collect this one faster if I can. But, you know, it all depends on what I find at the store. So, yeah. Then we have Record of Ragnarok 2. I really enjoy this. I guess technically speaking, people that were, you know, complaining about the fact that, you know, it doesn't work that well in the anime are kind of right, because, you know, the great fight of the first, you know, 3 or 4 volumes is definitely Adam versus Zeus, which is what's on the cover here. And in the anime, they kind of turned it into this slideshow, which is more or less what the manga already is. And it kind of, a lot of people complained about it because it kind of ruined the whole kind of like emotional aspect of it. I kind of disagree, because I hadn't been, you know, I hadn't read the scans for it, so I hadn't really made an attachment to this. And also because, you know, it was only 10 seconds or 30 seconds of the whole anime that got animated that way. I don't really think it's that big a deal, but, you know, I definitely can see the point, even if I don't agree with it, now that I've read the first half of that fight. And overall, I'm just really enjoying it. It's just fun. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense, but it's just really good, enjoyable fighting scenes, and it's really nice. So I like that quite a bit. Then we have GUNPLA 3. This is the first volume that I could find. They had 7 and 8, but I don't like buying ahead of time. Like I don't like buying, you know, volumes like far ahead of what I'm reading, because I just think it's wasteful. Because if I end up reading a volume that I don't like, I'm gonna want to drop the series, but then I won't feel like I can because I have these other volumes ahead of it. So I just prefer buying the volume that I'm missing at the time. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I buy manga. And honestly, I'm kind of, you know, upset that this has this horrible, you know, spine misalignment. But, you know, at some point I just have to stop caring, because Kodansha has this type of issue all the time. It's actually ridiculous how often they have these types of stupid, easily like fixable issues, and I'm just kind of tired of being upset about it. So for now, I'm just not going to complain. I'm just going to move on with my life, and just eventually I'll try to rebuy the volumes that are messed up, because it just bothers me so much. But also, me being bothered isn't going to change anything, because Kodansha's just going to do it the way they feel like doing it. So there's no point in me being angry about it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Then Komi 1, which I got at Walmart, because I started collecting Komi, right? I have 17 and 18 and 16 as well. And I started collecting them because my buddy, Robert, which was the person that lent me all of these Komi volumes in the first place, got an extra one by accident. So I told him, hey, I'll just pay you for it, and I'll take the extra volume. And he said yes, and now I want to collect it on my own. And, you know, anytime I see a volume of Komi that I don't have, I'm just going to pick it up. And that's how that works. So I have Komi Volume 1 right here. Then Spy Family 2, which I also got at Walmart because it was there, so there's no reason not to get it. Then Furi-san is Scary Volume 3. I love Furi-san so much. Between this, Komi, and Hitomi-chan, I'm loving this, like, cute girl in high school has trouble communicating kind of genre, and I love it. It's great. I really, really enjoy it. Then Eden 016, which is a great volume. I don't really love this color. It's kind of just brown, but I think it looks good with all the other manga on the shelf, so I'm okay with it. But this volume starts the Aoi Cosmos War arc. Very interesting. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be as good as Belial Gore, which is the big climax of the first part of the story, but it might, and it's really good. And there's a bit of an ominous author's note here at the end where Mashima is just like, yeah, it's going to get dark from here on out, so be careful. And I was like, oh, that's that's pretty interesting. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. I know some things happen later on, and, you know, I was spoiled because that's just what happens when you're on the internet. And I'm really hoping that, you know, it hits hard, because it really needs that moment of like, oh shit, this happened, right? And I'm really excited to see what that moment is. So yeah. Then Witch Hat 3. I bought 2 and 3, so there you go. That's all there is to it. I'm loving this series. I don't think I'm going to drop it, so that's why I'm buying so far ahead. I mean, 2 volumes isn't that far ahead. It's still doable. Like, if I want to get rid of it, I can get rid of it easily. I just don't like buying ahead when I'm skipping volumes. Like, I don't want to buy volume 5 of Witch Hat if I haven't read volume 3, if that makes sense. Because what if I end up buying volume 4, I don't like it, now I have an extra volume that I don't want to read, and then I'm going to have to sell it, and that volume that I didn't read at least once basically was money wasted down the drain. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. And yeah, there you go. This is the second to last volume. The last volume I bought was Komi 2, and I bought this morning actually. And this one doesn't really have any spine misalignment, but it does have like a little bit of a extra bit of spine left over here, but it's okay, it's good. This one also has a weird kind of texture. It doesn't feel matte, or like, it doesn't feel like that shiny finish that the other volume of Komi had, but it doesn't feel bad either. I don't know, it's just slightly different, and it doesn't bother me, so I'm just gonna keep it. But I hadn't really noticed that before, so it's kind of interesting. It has a slightly different, like, more textured feel to it, but nothing bad. So yeah, that's all I have for today. That's my manga haul. It's a little bit different from usual. Usually I talk more about the series, but the fact is that most of these series I'm already gonna talk about in the reading log, and I don't want to say the same thing twice, and the video is already long enough as it is. So yeah, that's all I bought this month. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and let me know what you have been collecting as well. I'm really interested to see, what sort of cool things you have bought this month. Tell me anything that you've bought: novels, books, figures, anything. I'm really interested to see what you guys have purchased this month. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.